You know, having a lot of money is nice and all, but sometimes the budget option is the winning one for you. What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So today I will be covering up the best budget decks that you can utilize this format and expect to do well with. But before this video starts, my man, you already know it. Friendly reminder to like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. And now let's jump right into it. In the number 10 position, I have Outlitch, a deck that I absolutely love. And I think it actually has a lot of nice applications, this format. Being able to just stop your opponent from playing with a bunch of floodgates. And even if your opponent mills a bunch of cards with like the effect of a Guido and Kelbeck, you can generate advantage off of their own cards. And then number 9, I might be completely mistaken on this one, but I'm actually going to have to give it to Danger Dark World. I think the structure deck is going to be making this deck way better than it was before, obviously because we were missing so many cards. And I want to say, if you're not getting Dwellered, you might be breaking a bunch of huge boards going second. But yeah, Dweller is game, so if you see that card, you lose. Number 8 is Earth Machine, a deck that is always utilized by very skillful players that know exactly what they're doing, and the deck actually tops YCSs from time to time. But yeah, it's not expensive. All you really need is just a bunch of commons, and if you really want a rarity whore, then you can do that, but you don't have to. Number 7 is another deck that you can get for dirt cheap, and that would be Plunder Patrol. It's very good if you know exactly what you're doing, but I will say that these staples might actually be a little expensive. So like if you're playing Lightning Storm or Forbidden Droplet, whatever, those cards might be more expensive than your actual deck. But yeah, the deck itself is also a pretty good investment because it's always bound to get more support in the future. And I do believe it's going to be getting like a Synchro Pendulum sometime soon, so definitely keep an eye on that card. Number 6 is Sword Soul, a deck that you might still have on you right now. Very good deck, very good investment. It never really got super hit. Like, the only big hit was Arch Nemesis Protoss, and that's it, that's all. But the actual engine never got touched, and the deck can actually use Bisted Monsters very well, because if you can summon a Bisted Monster at normal summon Veiler, you can make Yazi, destroy boards, and summon the Taie, and start playing your Sword Soul engine from there. So even the worst hands of like 5 hand shops can still basically do a lot of things. And then in the number 5 position, I have a deck that is very similar to Sword Soul in a way, because it coexisted with Sword Soul on that format, and that would be Despia. So Despia is completely different from what it used to be, because back then it was really just like a fusion turbo deck that tried to make Guardian Chimera on the opponent's turn, etc. But now it's a little different because you're trying to give Raw's Disciple, or Ido, or whatever you're supposed to pronounce it, to the opponent's board so that they cannot special summon. It's very similar to Ibli, but slightly better because they can't even link it off, and if they don't really have the out to Raw's Disciple, you just win the game. In the number 4 position, I have a deck that won Euros, and that would be Rika Sanavalon. Very good deck, and outside of Rika Glamour, I really don't think a single card is like super expensive. And you don't really need like that many expensive staples anyways, because you can play without the hand shops, so all you would really need would be like Floodgates, Rivalry of the Warlords, etc., and you should be fine. Number 3 is an Isuzu deck, but not Isuzu Tearlaments, and that would actually be the way cheaper version, Isuzu Naturia. The Naturia cards are worth absolutely less than nothing. I think you can get like the full core for like maybe 10 or 20 bucks, something ridiculous, so it's super cheap. And even the Isuzu cards are really not that expensive, so only like the extra deck and some other staples might be worth something, but the deck is definitely very good. In the number 2 position, I have a deck that can either be very cheap or very expensive, and that would depend on how you play it, and that deck is Pendulums. So the Draco Slayer cards are super expensive, but the Magician cards are not. So if you're trying to build like a very cheap version, just play Pendulum Magicians and you're good to go. And Pendulums is also a very good investment because it's been very nice since 2015, and now we're in 2022 and it's still tier 1. And last but definitely not least, the most obvious one by far, Flunderies. This deck isn't just a good budget option, but it's a good option period, because it's still one of the best decks of the whole format. It can play Dimension Shifter, the whole deck is worth literally nothing, and if you go normal summon Robina, your opponent doesn't have anything, you are going to be ending on a pretty annoying board at least. It's not really a matter of unbreakable boards 10 negates or anything, but the fact that you have a Windbearer statue and that you can also protect by summoning Ryza on your opponent's turn, or like Apex Avion or another Windbearer statue, is really frustrating for your opponent to deal with. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my top 10 best budget decks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on what would be the best budget options in the current format. And that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.